Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. Where I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, guys? Michael Buckhuister here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. We have some new t-shirts dropping here in just a few days, so stay tuned to that website and check back every day to see if the new merchandise has dropped yet. We aren't going to tell you when it drops on the air or the Facebook page or Twitter or anything like that. It's simply just going to be there one day, and bada bing, bada boom, they're going to be gone the next day. So they're only going to be live for about a month. So if you want the new and improved Man Hour t-shirt, better head over to the website right now and check it out whenever it is there. Next few days here. But speaking of the next few days, my man Brandon Combs is here for the next few days to hammer out the week. Combs, I seen you had a pretty good afternoon here. You counted some drinks back. You had a great time. Happy belated St. Patrick's Day to you, my friend.
Yes, sir. Feeling? Yes, sir. Look, man. Look, the Irish, we have to celebrate. And we don't just celebrate on St. Patty's Day. We celebrate after St. Patrick's Day. we celebrate pretty much any time we can because we're Irish, and that's what we do best. We drink. So, yeah, I was at lunch with the family today, and I messaged you and showed you I had they call it the Boomerita at Outback Steakhouse. Okay. And it's a server of 4 different margaritas that they bring to you. And it's got different flavors. And I gotta tell you, if you've never been to Outback, when you go, you gotta try the Boomerita. I did that, and then did the steak and lobster. Man, it was a good afternoon.
Yeah, and as we do have some people already chiming in here, we have a Hoffy coming in, says Irish Nation, stand up there. Yes, sir, Irish Nation do stand up. And Tori Anderson says, well, if there's this or Mr. I can't use Twitter, referring to Brandon Combs. You guys can find
why
Brandon
can't
Combs
I use
on Twitter.
Because
he has literally tweeted at you all day, said, hey, I need some more friends. And you are refusing to follow him. Like, he flat out said, I need more friends. And I am the only one that has followed my man Tori on Twitter. You or White have not followed it.
In my defense, all afternoon I was out. Like, I was spending the day with the family and just enjoying. It's Michelle's day off of work today, so we were just enjoying the day. And yeah, I didn't even think about the show or anybody on the show or Twitter or ESPN today until about 15 minutes before when we started prep.
True or false? You texted us all day with like pictures and TikToks and whatnot. True or false? That is not false.
Not today.
Let me pull my phone.
Not today.
Combs, 16 unread messages.
You're lying. You are lying, sir.
That is actually my mom. My mom has been texting me nonstop today because she is coming down to southern Indiana this weekend, my mom and dad and sister, because it's my little man's birthday, dude. He turns 1 year old on the 18th here, so I am really excited. No more... Maybe he can officially sleep through the night now. That would be highly fantastic. That would be a
great birthday present, wouldn't it?
Oh, dude, I would be ecstatic. I'd be like, yes, my life is finally fulfilled. I can get 8 hours. Dude, honestly, Combs, like, I don't know how like single people can do it and have like 3 or 4 kids and like do they just let the kids cry all night? Because like, oh, dude, like right now I am like physically just exhausted. It's crazy.
I do. So look, man, with my kids, it was one of those things where, so Junior, he would sleep through the night easily. Alan was like, I couldn't get that kid to go to sleep for nothing. I couldn't get him to go to sleep for nothing. So finally, it just came to the point where, and I know it always sounded mean. At first, it sounded mean to me too. But even the doctor said you take him to his crib when it's bedtime, and you let him cry it out. No kid has ever died from crying. So let him cry it out.
Them, so that's like that's when you're putting them down to like sleep.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like my boys never had a problem of going to sleep. It was sleeping past that 2:00 hour. It's like once the 2:00 hour hits, boom, rise and shine. No, dude, come on.
But that's what the doctor said. The doctor said you have to let them cry. You have to let them work themselves through that, because they say that eventually the kids they'll figure out what's going on, and then they'll develop into your sleep pattern. So.
Yeah, well, that is a little bit easier said than done because we do live in a 2-bedroom house right now, and my oldest is kind of very, what's the word I'm looking for? Possessive. Everything is like his, right? And there is no way he is sharing a bedroom with his little brother
Tori Anderson,
right now.
I just followed you on Twitter,
There
sir.
you go. So you guys can follow us on Twitter at manhour_Buck and at manhour_Combs. I mean, I'm more active on Twitter than Combs is because, like, basically, like, my first part of the day between, like, 5 a.m. until, like, 10 a.m., I'm pretty much just trolling, like, all day long. So
And people ask me all the time, they're like, how come you're not so active on Twitter, not so active on TikTok? Guys, look, I grew up in a day and
40.
age where we didn't have any of this stuff.
Right.
So now it's all new. For one, I have TikTok. I just don't do any. I've never done one video on TikTok. I follow a ton of people on TikTok.
Right.
I love TikTok. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
For one, I can't figure out how to use TikTok, so I can't make a video myself.
it is super
for
hard
two,
to hold up the selfie camera and push record button. That is the hardest thing to do.
And for two, half the things I want to say on TikTok will probably get muted because I'm not a 13-year-old girl in a thong shaking my butt.
What if you were a 43-year-old man in a thong shaking your butt?
I think that gets deleted too.
Oh, okay. Like I'm just
Probably a little bit
friend.
faster.
What if you were to identify as a 13-year-old? Would that be okay?
I don't think you can.
Yeah, you can. You can identify as anything you want.
Oh God, we're going dark already.
We are not going dark. We are going to go ahead and slide right past that because I watched Alex Jones' interview with Flamboyant 2 or something like that. Alex Jones is off the rail 100%. As Michelle says, thank God you don't know how to use TikTok. Yeah. I mean, honestly,
she sees all these things that I watch, and my favorite ones are the guys that get their wives all the time. So I think she sees that I watch those ones. She's like, "Yeah, I'm so happy he doesn't know how to use TikTok."
So funny thing here, have you seen the one where like they're probably like 25, 26. You know, you can tell they just got married, right? You know, because they're happy. Like, let's just be honest. And the husband is throwing cheese like at his wife, and it lands on her face. Like, have you seen that one? Well,
no.
Well, tonight we had barbecue for supper. Tonight, Cindy makes the best barbecue ever. Like, I don't know what she does to it, but it just melts in your mouth. But she puts cheese on top of it for whatever reason, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this. So I pull it out this last slice of cheese, fling it over here, and it hits her in the head. Oh, dude, if looks could have killed, I would probably not have been here.
My God. Yeah. So the one I saw the other day, which I haven't tried yet, and if I do, I'd probably end up dead as well. But it's the guy who goes and he gets a ketchup on his hand, and he walks up to his wife and swipes it across her head and says, "Simba." From the Lion King. So I saw that one the other day. I was dying laughing. Michelle would probably murder me though.
That is, I mean, like honestly, like I don't know how I lived without TikTok, to be honest with you, because like yes, they're only like 30 seconds or 45-second clips, right? But I catch myself spending like 2 hours on just on there. UFC 260 main event has just been booked. Michelle versus Combs.
Yeah, she says I'll fight you. But no, look, that's the thing. Like, TikTok is hilarious. There's a couple people that I follow on there that are just. There's this one guy, and right now I can't think of his name. I don't know why, but he's my favorite one. Like, it's him, but he does like different things. It's supposed to be his sons. But it's like it's just him with different faces.
Man, why is his name slipping my mind right now?
Oh my God, Jason Banks. Jason Banks comedy.
Banks. Yeah,
and so he's on there, and man, he does some of the funniest stuff. But again, a lot of his stuff gets muted on TikTok because for whatever reason, TikTok will ban a comedian, but won't ban. Like I'm telling you, man, I can't tell you how many young girls you see on there shaking their stuff, and it's just like, guy, why is this okay, but this comedy isn't? Like I don't understand what's going on with the world.
Speaking of which, I did see a video of his saying that he is going back on tour starting here in July, I think it was. And
I'm trying to get him on the show, man. I've hit him up so many times to come on the show. I'm going to get him eventually, man. I would love to have him on the show.
Maybe we just need Wyatt to hit him up because he got Abstract Shine, and Abstract Shine was a very, very funny dude. So
he was hilarious, man.
But guys, we do have an action-packed show for you tonight. Let's go ahead and get into some sports talk, but let's go ahead and break it down. We do got some NFL free agents.
Michelle chimes in, says, "If you do it, I'm hiding your PS5."
Yeah. Joke's on you. The PS5 is underneath his pillow all the time. Good luck with that. No, I'm totally kidding. But we do have some NFL free agency to discuss. Combs, your Bears did not get Russell in the trade, so we will talk about that.
Why you gotta bring that up again?
Facts are facts, man.
Why are you doing this to me, man?
That is a headline story. So, Michelle, please get that blood pressure pill ready because we are going to need it coming up right after the break here. But we also got Deshaun Watson, some sexual assault charges, AJ Green news, Garner Minshew, very, very much more. And, of course, we got the world infamous What Does tonight as well. So, guys, action-packed show. We got a lot to talk about. Wyatt is on vacation tonight. He is hunting polar bears in a catfish suit. So we will see how he comes back tomorrow on that. So, Combs, let's go ahead and take our first break of the night, man. And we're going to come back and talk your Chicago Bears. We'll be right back here, guys, on the Man Hour. Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes with Brandon Combs tonight. Wyatt William is out and about hunting polar bears, like I said, in a catfish suit, so he'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with all limbs intact, with his full head of hair. Speaking of the devil, right there is Wyatt. But if you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, or you're going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can check us on iTunes, Spotify, or iHeartRadio as well, or head over to manhourradio.com, click on the podcast link, and it'll be the first link that you see there. So like I said, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, definitely download the podcast, guys. It helps us out more than you will ever know. Also, if you're watching us on youtube.com/Man Hour, feel free to hit that like button right now. If you're getting any entertainment or advice or knowledge out of our show tonight, definitely hit that thumbs up and help the show grow, guys, 100%. So let's go ahead and bring Combs back on camera here.
So Drew chimes in on the chat line and says, "Where's the leprechaun Wyatt?" Well, if you look up here, Drew, right in the top of the screen, there is a little leprechaun sitting there. That is how we added Wyatt to the show without having Wyatt on the show. So he is here. He is in his green attire like he was in the other night. So he is definitely here. And
Speaking of TikTok, tell me how Wyatt is on the show without telling me his Wyatt is like it's on the show, right? Leprechaun
Packers.
right there on the back of the screen. There we go. So
your green screen is cool, by the way, man. Like you've got, because of your green screen is on, the camera's got this cool thing with your hoodie where your wires look like they're actually behind the letters of your sweatshirt.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so like I was editing the show, like, because I wore this hoodie like last Thursday or last Friday, and like I was like looking at the shirt. I'm like, man, what if we made a T-shirt like that, like without like
green screen T-shirt?
Well, I'm talking like see how like the man hour is black.
Yeah.
Like what if we did that? Like, how do you think that would look? Like on a T-shirt.
Yours would look great if it didn't say Mike and Mike at the top. There's no longer Mike and Mike.
This was the original hoodie, and my man Mike LeBlanc,
we miss you, LeBlanc.
Me and him started this. We took the old show, put it in a new direction, and then I brought Combs on, and we kind of we are at to where we are at right now.
LeBlanc's still here without being here, though. Come on,
yeah.
Now.
Yeah, I feel like I actually talk to him more now than we actually did like during the show, to be honest with you. But man, he is a great guy. A brother from another mother, that type of thing. And yeah,
absolutely.
definitely welcome on anytime he wants to come on and talk his teams. No, I said teams there. Teams.
Yeah, he's got teams. Him right. And Wyatt have some great Green Bay Packers talk, because whenever the Cowboys suck, he likes the Packers. So
oh yeah, he is definitely a closet Cowboy or a closet Packers fan, I should say.
What's going on, Jameson?
Yeah, Jameson, what's going on, man? So let's go ahead and jump into it. Jameson is a huge 49ers fan, so we'll be talking about his man Deshaun Watson coming up here. But first things first, man. Let's talk your Chicago Bears. Combs, it seemed like the writing was on the wall. The Chicago Bears were going to make a huge push for the Seattle Seahawks, the Seattle Seahawks quarterback. Everything was going to be all great and mighty in Chicago, Super Bowl bound, AFCs NFC championships and this and this and this. And then you guys signed Andy Dalton. I'm not saying Andy Dalton is a bad quarterback. He's just not Russell Wilson caliber. But then we sat back, we gathered our thoughts, and we were hearing I was hearing rumors and reading rumors that the Seahawks didn't have a plan B for a quarterback, so they were waiting for a trade with somebody with a quarterback. Well, later, once Andy Dalton was signed, the dust settled. The Chicago Bears presented a trade offer to the Seattle Seahawks that came out to be public. This trade offer, Combs, 3 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and 2 starters, which the starters were unnamed. So I kind of feel like it's who do you want? What 2 starters do you want to make your team, right? And
I know which Carroll, they were.
But Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks said, nah, we're going to keep Russ. So I'm going to present this question to you, Combs, real quick here. Well, not real quick. You can go into the depth whatever you want. You can get the blood pressure to 165 if you want, because your wife is a nurse. So she will save your life. But did the deal not entice Seattle enough, meaning they wanted more? Or is Seattle just sold Russell is our guy? What are your initial thoughts on this?
So I feel Seattle, there's a couple things that's going on with Seattle and Russell Wilson. A couple things that I've heard. One is that they're not going to move Russell Wilson until after June 1st because of some sort of thing that happens with the salary cap. If he's moved before June 1st, there's some sort of hit to the salary cap, and if he's moved after June 1st, it does something different.
Okay,
I don't know the ins and outs of that, but that's what I'm hearing, is that they're not moving him until after June 1st because of that. The only reason I don't think that they take this trade is because one of the 2 starters' name is Nick Foles. And I'm sorry, but you're not going from Russell Wilson to Nick Foles. The other starter's name happened to be Akeem Hicks, which is a huge get if you're the Seattle Seahawks. However, you have no backup plan at quarterback. Nick Foles is not going to get you there. You have no backup plan. You're going to get the 20th overall pick with the Bears first rounder this year. Could you get a quarterback there? Sure, but you're not there if you're ready to compete now. I don't feel like the Seahawks are ready to go through a rebuild or a restart or a reset, if you will. They're not ready to bring on. They want a viable starter in Seattle, and it's just it's one of those things where the Bears, they made their move, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't get that trade because that's a lot to give up for Russell Wilson, man. That's a lot to give up for Russell Wilson.
And you're losing 6 players. I mean, shoot.
Yeah, and I just, I couldn't do it. I don't look. I'm not sure that anything short of Deshaun Watson, I don't think Bears fans are going to be happy, myself included. I mean, you're just not, and you end up with Andy Dalton, and everybody's losing their mind here in Chicago. I can't believe we got Andy Dalton, and I'm one of them. Like I don't like the trade. I don't like the signing. I don't like the addition of Andy Dalton unless you're using him as trade bait somewhere somehow.
Right.
But I with this front office, I'm just not surprised anymore. Like I'm not. This front office is a dumpster fire. It just is, and it's not going to get any better until Ryan Pace and Virginia McCaskey are gone. It's not just Ryan Pace; it's Virginia McCaskey too. She handcuffs a lot of the moves by not allowing certain things to happen.
Right. So you said you are not happy with the signing of Andy Dalton, and basically it is basically Deshaun Watson or bust, like in the Chicago Bears and the Chicago area mindset, right? So I'm going to give you 4 quarterback names that have already signed deals, so they're not out there to be offered. But would you? Or sorry, I'm going to give you 3. One of them, which was Andy Dalton, so that would have been the fourth one. But of these 3 quarterbacks, would they have fit the Chicago scheme and kind of got you guys through the next year? The first name I'm going to put out here is Ryan Fitzpatrick. Would you have been happy with Ryan Fitzpatrick in Chicago?
I'd have been happier than I am with Andy Dalton.
Okay, what about Jacoby Brissett? He signed a 1-year $5 million deal.
Again, I would have been happier than I would have been happier than I was with Andy Dalton.
How about Tyrod Taylor?
He's about on the same level as Andy Dalton. He's just a little bit more mobile. Okay. So Tyrod Taylor, I probably wouldn't have been happy with. I just look, for me, if you were going to go with Andy Dalton, who is an older, more injury-prone version of Mitch Trubisky, I just don't understand why he didn't stick with Mitch for one more year. I just don't get it.
Yeah, well, it's because they would have been paying him like $17 or $18 million, right, for that 5th-year option.
No, it was his 5th year. It's still on his rookie deal.
Yeah, it would have been pretty expensive, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but Andy Dalton for $10 million or Mitch Trubisky for $18. I'm going to stick with the younger guy who I put my draft stock into. Who, I wanted a kid to succeed. He's just not a good quarterback. He's just not. He's okay. Not. He's not a workable quarterback. But I would, if you're going to go out and get Dalton, what's the difference? Other than the extra $8 million, but I mean, what do you use the $8 million for? Show me something you're going to use the $8 million for, and I'll be happy with you. But you're not going to show me anything that you're going to use it for.
Okay, and then obviously the other big quarterback that was signed, if you want to make 4 there to hold me to my word, Jameis Winston. Would you have been happy with him in Chicago?
Yes, I would have been extremely. Out of all the quarterbacks that were available, other than obviously Deshaun Watson, because anybody and everybody wants Deshaun Watson.
Right.
I would have been extremely happy with Jameis Winston because I think that Jameis Winston is a top 10 quarterback in the league, and I've said it. I know people think that I'm crazy. He's a top 10 quarterback in this league, and he's going to prove it this year in New Orleans.
Backup?
I would have. He's not going to be the backup there. He's going to be the starter, but I'm not going to be. I would have been happier with him on a 3 or 4 year deal. The problem is, I don't think it mattered for the Bears because you've still got Ryan Pace, you still got Virginia McCaskey, you still got Matt Nagy, Like, I don't feel like there's a real winning opportunity for any quarterback right now.
So I am looking through the list of free agent quarterbacks out there. Alex Smith is out there, Mitchell Trubisky, Chase Daniels, A.J. McCarron, Colt McCoy, RG3, Matt Barkley, Nate Stufffield, Joe Flacco, Ryan Griffith, I don't even know who that guy is, Josh McCown, Mike McGlynn, Geno Smith, Blaine Gabbert, Brian Hoyer, Blake Bortles, Nick Mullins is out there, Josh Dobbs.
Why not go get Flacco? Out of all those names that you just mentioned, I would have went and got Flacco.
Because he's
if you're going to get somebody on, right? But if you're going to get somebody on a 1-year deal, at least Joe Flacco knows how to win.
True. He did ride the coattails of a defense to a Super Bowl. You're 100% correct on on that.
And that's what the Bears need, is a quarterback that can ride the coattails of a defense to the Super Bowl. I don't know, man. I don't understand. I still don't understand the move. I'm just over it now at this point. Like, I'm so done with this Bears franchise, with their ownership, with their front office. Like, I'm nothing surprises me anymore, and I have zero expectations for them until Virginia McCaskey is dead and gone and Ryan Pace is no longer the GM.
Let's see how many more times you can say their two names throughout the show. If it's under 7, Wyatt will shave his head. So keep that in the back of your head. Totally
simple.
Kidding. But let me ask you this question. I mean, obviously, our draft expert guy isn't here, but maybe, just maybe, the Chicago Bears picked up Andy Dalton to mold a quarterback from the draft. Do you think maybe that was the thought process there?
Again, that's the wrong guy to do it with. I mean, if you're going to do that, again, I'm going to go back to, why didn't you just go get Joe Flacco on a 1-year deal? I mean, if you want somebody to show, like, Andy Dalton is not that guy. I mean, concussion problems, injury problems. Like, I just don't understand the go-get for Andy Dalton. I don't understand the thought process. And I would love to sit down and talk with Ryan Pace about the thought process, but he's just not, I don't know.
Well, what you could do, since you do have Twitter and you just followed Torrey Anderson on there, follow Ryan Pace on there. Reach out to him. Slide into those DMs, man. Maybe
that clown ain't going to message me back. He don't want none of this smoke.
Just be nice, Combs. just be nice, but
I can't be nice to that man. That's like,
no.
Look. You're what you're asking me to do right now, essentially. Okay, you're asking
I want you
me
to, be
to call
female,
up.
Be passive
You're
aggressive.
asking me to call up the cheating ex-wife, and be cordial.
Exactly. But
I can't do that.
But in a very passive aggressive way. Just like, hey man, what is up? I hear that you need some help on the front office side.
Yeah.
Of things. I would love to sit down and talk to you. So I got me like a very, very good coach of mine, a very good mentor of mine, Mr. Jamie Polk there, taught me you have to make a sandwich. Like, you have to have the good, and then the bad is in the middle. So you start with the good, you say, hey, you suck, and then you say, hey, man, but you'll do better. Make it a sandwich, Combs. Make it a sandwich. He will bite. Because, it will
be a sandwich. It'll be a you suck sandwich with a jackass.
Well, speaking of you suck, Deshaun Watson does not suck, but he does like to intertwine things sometimes here. Deshaun Watson is facing 2 sexual assault charges here after getting massages back in March of 2020 and August of 2020. I'm going to try to keep this as PG as I can here. So basically, when you get a massage, you get really relaxed and parts of your body start to grow, right? With that being said, that particular part, let's call it his leg, rubbed up against the masseuse, and she felt very uncomfortable about it and said this is, quote, a disturbing behavior trend that we're seeing with Deshaun. With that being said, 2 sexual charges have been filed against him. One stemming back from March 2020 and August 2020. 2 different girls here, like I might add. So I'm going to ask the NFL question first here. Does this hurt Deshaun Watson's trade value at all?
No. Not at all. No, because you're still getting a guy who on the field performs, and who off the field, you don't know the whole story. And that's what I'm going to tell you about the story itself is that, was it one of those things where he stood up and handled it and then rubbed it on their leg? Or was it he was rolling over and it touched them because I don't know what to do. Like, it's one of those things that these are always those stories that I always tread lightly. And I don't ever blame somebody for coming forward and saying something. If they felt like it was wrong and they felt like he violated something, by all means say something. But there are so many times where stories like this come out and there's not much to it, except for, in the end, they want some sort of cash stipend. And that's like, so I never say anything about it because I don't know which one it is. I think that there are a lot of players that get into situations like this. Some of them are warranted and some of them aren't. And the ones that are warranted absolutely need to be dealt with in a legal manner. But the ones that aren't warranted also need to be dealt with in a legal manner. And that's how you stop stuff like that from happening.
Right.
But I'm telling you right now, if you tell me that he did this and it was wrong and he's going to go to jail for it, I'm fine with that. That's fine with me. He deserves it for being an idiot and doing something like this. But if he didn't do it, and it's proved that he didn't do it, then these people that are accusing him of doing it should face the same exact punishment.
Exactly. I am a firm believer on that 100% because every time something like this comes up, I always revert back to the Baylor guy. I never remember his last name, but you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. This is a defensive end, wore number 9, 6'5", rolled his shirt underneath his pads, had a 15-pack on him. He was a very statued built man. He was going to go first round into the into the NFL, and then these rape charges came out on him. I think 3 years after the fact, it proved that this girl totally just made it up because he didn't want to sleep with her. So she made the whole thing up. So with that being said, Deshaun Watson is an NFL quarterback. You could be the ugliest. You could look like Wyatt. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. But you could be the ugliest person.
That's so mad.
You could. Who was the guy that says D's nuts? He's all messed up teeth and whatnot, and has a big a big underbite.
Yeah.
You could look like him. But if you are an NFL quarterback, you're going to have women throw themselves at you over and over and over. So I don't think Deshaun Watson did anything.
That's not to be said that guys that should be able to do this don't do it. You know what I mean? Right. Because there are
Antonio
definitely
Brown.
guys out there that still, And Antonio Brown, you look at the guy that just came from in baseball from the Red Sox organization, was in the Cubs organization. There are absolutely guys at this level that will do this type of stuff. Ben Roethlisberger, we've seen it with him a couple times. So there are guys that put themselves in that situation. I'm just going to reserve judgment until I hear the whole story. I'm not going to say that he didn't do it, but I'm not going to say that he did do it either. I need to hear the full story. Penelope's over here with the angry face. I'm not sure which way she's leaning on.
She's mad at me for making fun of her grandson.
Oh, Wyatt.
I'm not making fun of him. I was just poking fun.
But anyway,
is my boy.
Like Jameson says here, it's BS. This attorney is neighbors with the Texans owner. It's nonsense. They're trying to kill his value so no one wants to trade for him.
I
could believe that story too. Yeah. In this Texans owner, there's a reason why everybody wants out. So I'm not saying that this guy can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying there's something. There's never been anything in this realm about Deshaun Watson off the field doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
So Jameson threw up the first red flag. Red flag number 2 for me was it never fails. This happened a year ago, right? March of 2021, literally a year ago. And red flag number 3 is right here on the screen on our chat section here. Like it says, these women asked for a large cash settlement. They're not even trying to get him to go to jail. They just want money in their pocket. It's just. it is so ridiculous. Like every time we hear stories like this, yes, Sean Oakman is the guy. Is six. This guy was a statue. Every guy dreams to look like him. But back to my thought here, wet dream. But nonetheless, every time something like this happens, like Combs, is it the guy in me that always wants to defend the guy? Like I can say like you are innocent and proven, like because we live in a world that you are quote innocent until proven guilty. But time after time after time, we've seen careers get ended by these allegations that turned out to be true. We are speaking on athletes, but let's look at the Congress, the Brett Kavanaugh guy, right? A girl back from high school said that he took advantage of her in like high school, and none of the friends that were there could collaborate it. She was simply trying to bring the man down. Because it just
that's the thing. Like that's how you stop stuff like this. And it's a very simple problem. And I don't know why they don't do it. But if you falsely accuse somebody of something like this, because this ruins somebody's life. Yeah, doing something like this could ruin somebody's life. They have to register as a sex offender. It ruins their life.
Sean Oakman is working at Walmart right now. When he could be he could be JJ Watt right now in the NFL.
Right. So if you're knowingly and willingly lying and saying that they did this and it comes to fruition that they didn't and you lied about it, then you need to have the same punishment. I'm sorry, you just do. And I know, I get it. Like I hear all the stuff all the time. Look, I've got a daughter, an 18-year-old daughter who's in the Army. There are stories that I know of. There are stories that I've lived. There are things that I've seen that I am fearful for my daughter being in the Army.
Right.
But at the same time, I've taught her enough to know how to handle it.
Right.
And she's not just going to go out and make up a story to get somebody in trouble. So I understand the side of things where you don't want to, ever stop somebody if they feel like they've been, something's been done wrong, that they need to go and they need to tell somebody. You always want to make things right. You always want to be able to go and talk to somebody if you feel like somebody's done something inappropriate to you. But for those few that are out there lying about it,
right,
those are the ones that something needs to be done for. And you can't just have it one way.
So I do know we have some law enforcement in our very active chat group. Like I know Drew is a police officer. Mrs. Smith used to be a police officer. She's now a dispatcher. Like I think I will. And she also just came across the chat here saying that plus it makes harder for the true victims to actually come forward. Right. So let me ask you this question. I want to have a lively discussion in the chat here because we're getting ready to go to break here just a couple minutes or so. How can we put that into law? Like if you falsely accuse somebody of such a heinous crime, it's completely false, no basis of it whatsoever. How can we, make that charge happen? Like, does it have to go?
There's got to be something
protest it.
I think it's a false police. At that point, it's only a false police report. But it needs to be more. But there's a lot of laws out there that are like that. It's not just this one in particular. There's a lot of things like family courts are butt backwards too, and I can attest to that for one. There are a lot of things in law that need to change. However, they need a voice. They need to be brought before, and then they need to have stuff passed.
Right.
The problem is that those voices that are in office, a lot of them like to get away with this type of stuff, so they're not going to pass that law. And I'm sorry, I'm not getting political with you. I'm just telling you that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. There are people out there that don't want laws to change, and they're in office because it helps them out.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's like I feel like every time like it is almost saying like, Combs, I am like, let's say you and me start to fight, right? and like, not like a physical fight, but just like a Twitter wars because you're never on there. But I am coming at you on Twitter.
So you're the Mets and I'm Trevor Bauer.
All right. So like, and then you just say something that just like rubs me the wrong way. What is to stop me from going to the local police station and saying, "Oh, Combs did this to me. He touched me here, here, and here." It's completely false, but it could take you down. It could ruin your career, and it's totally false. And what, I get like a fine because I filed a false police report. I don't know. It's
crazy, man. There are so many little things in this world and this just like we talk about it when it happens to athletes, but it doesn't just happen to athletes. It doesn't just happen to it happens a lot more than we would think, and it's horrible. It's hard to see, especially if you have a family member or a friend or anything that goes through it. It's tough to see because you know what they have to go through. They have to register, and when you have to register, that puts you on all sorts of lists. And when that start putting you on lists, you start getting denied for jobs. You start getting looked at differently. And then not only that, but now all your neighbors can look you up and see you on this list. Yeah. Like, it's a bad thing all the way around. And to falsely accuse somebody of this, and I'm not saying that that's the case in Deshaun Watson's case, but if it is, to falsely accuse somebody of this is just I don't even know how to explain it, man. It's a heinous act.
To be honest, I'm giving him the benefit. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because of those three red flags that just came across. Jameson gave us 2, and then and then the one that stood out to me was like the dates. But like we aren't going to take anything away from the girls just because if it is true, I don't know. It's just like it is what it is. It's just, but I don't know. But at the end of the day, guys. This is
Drew
sports
chimes
show.
in and says, if you file a false police report or make a false statement, the investigating agency can charge the accuser for all the money it took to investigate. That's all good and well, but they should also charge them for the money that, especially for an athlete, the money that they're losing from that. If it's a general person, the money they lose from losing their job. And not only that, they should have to face all the time in jail that the person they're accusing of would have faced in jail.
Or I mean, like, we are kind of gearing it toward like athletes, but like, what about an average citizen like me? Like if some girl would accuse me of something right now, I do not have the money. Like I do not have the money to buy like a lawyer to prove that I didn't. I don't have the have the time or the energy to fight it in court for months and months and months. But like I would lose my job. I would never be able to support my family the way I am now because like,
and not only
my
that, but
job
the trust that you
checks.
lose, the trust that you lose inside your own home.
Oh yeah, like there would be no trust. Like I would probably be single just because that's just the way it is. Like me and Cindy have like this communication level, and she like, you lied to me. Well, I didn't lie to you, but somebody said I don't know. But I'm sorry, I'm getting a little worked up just because it irritates me.
Yeah,
a lot.
I'm there with you, man. I'm there with you.
Yeah, and Tori, you are 100% correct, man. Tori says you'd be guilty before you stepped foot in the courthouse and sentenced. Yeah, I mean, I feel like anytime a guy gets in trouble with the law when it involves a female, you are guilty, no matter what. Like you can be 100% innocent and have a video. I actually have a story for you guys on the members only after our show. So stay tuned for that at 10 p.m. East Coast time. So Combs, let's go ahead and get into the next break here. On the other side of the break, guys, we got the world famous What Does. So what has been brewing in our souls for the last week or so, we got the What Does coming up, and then some fantasy baseball talk with the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon B.C. Combs will give us some top fantasy players, actually top sleepers in the Major League Baseball schedule moving forward. We'll be right back, guys, here. Yeah, I got baseball or football on the mind. But, guys, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned.
check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckashlow with Brandon Combs here today. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on the podcast forum on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify as well. Or head over to manhourradio.com, click on the podcast tab, and listen to the latest and newest podcast right there on the show. It is uploaded right after this is over, so it'll be there if you guys missed any part of the show whatsoever. You can also become a members only. The members only tab is as little as $3 a month. You can join us on the after show, which starts at 10 p.m. East Coast time on the website. Simply click on the member tab and click on the after show. It's there. So as little as $3 a month, and you get discount code. You get a hoodie or a t-shirt after 6 months of being a member, and you get to hang out with me and BC. BC, welcome back to the show, man.
What is going on? I was cracking up backstage. Tori Anderson is all in on this game over here on YouTube. Yeah. So we got a points game. You guys can gamble points when you watch us on the YouTube lives. Right. And he says his what does that the gambling game is rigged. That's twice now. He just gambled away some points and lost all of them. So he's not happy right now. That's his what the right now is that the the game is rigged.
Yeah, if you guys are curious of what we are talking about, if you watch us on youtube.com/manhour, during the live show here, we are live every Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. East Coast time, and every Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. East Coast time. You can gamble points on there, and at the end of each week, we reward the loyalty winner of the week with sometimes some clothing, sometimes some discounts for clothing, sometimes just a good old pat on the back. Like, you never know what is going to come, so we'll figure that out tomorrow's show of what we're going to give them, Combs. But are you ready to start one of the best segments that we have here on
I'm
on
always ready, man. I was born ready.
You ready? Let's do it, man.
You going first or am I going first?
I got it. And my first what the of the night is going to go out to the people that are jumping on this Arizona Cardinals bandwagon here. Yes, the Arizona Cardinals signed J.J. Watt. Yes, they signed A.J. Green here. We'll be talking about that on the hour number 2 here on the Man Hour. But, guys, A.J. Green is over the hill. He is injured. J.J. Watt has he been healthy the last 4 years? I don't know. Does he even still have a back anymore? Who really knows? But let's be honest. The Arizona Cardinals don't have a quarterback that's over 6 foot tall. How can he throw to all these weapons? So all you people jump on this Arizona Cardinal bandwagon. You guys get the what the. They're going to be a bust this year. 100%.
My man said, does J.J. Watt even have a back anymore? J.J. Watt played every game this year, Buck. Every single one of them.
First time in his 9-year career. Congratulations.
Oh, my God. Stop it. He's only only twice in his career has he not played all 16 games. Stop it.
You are out of your mind.
No, you are. Look it up. Anyway, my first what of the night is going to go to the NCAA. The NCAA tournament always starts on Tuesday and Wednesday. Always. And then we get the playing games on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we get the Thursday tournament. They're all day long from noon to midnight usually. And this year, what do we got? Playing games on Thursday, then games on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I don't understand why we have to wait. Why couldn't we still do everything that we're doing? I get, they had to do COVID protocol. They had to do COVID tests. They had to do COVID this. They had to do COVID that. They've been doing COVID tests all freaking year. All season long they've been doing COVID tests. I'm so done with it. NCAA, you get the what the.
Oh, my bad. My next what the is going to go out to my man, Mike LeBlanc. Yes, he is my brother from another mother, and we did not get sued by ESPN by having the name Mike and Mike, because it's not the Mike and Mike, it's Mike and Mike Man Hour there, Tori. So you get the what the for that as well. But it is going to go out to Joe Burrow lovers out there, a.k.a. Mike LeBlanc. Mike said that Joe Burrow was going to be the rookie of the year, and yes, he got hurt, and I think he was playing a pretty stellar season. But let's look at this down the field passing statistic. Joe Burrow was 7 for 40 in deep passes. Deep passes is considered a ball 20-plus yards down the field. And then Mike also come out and said that Daniel Jones is a trash quarterback. Absolutely horrible. Daniel Jones had a 50% completion percentage for down the field passes. So who is really trash quarterback now? Joe Burrow or Daniel Jones? Mike, you get the what the for jumping on this Joe Burrow train. That's 17.5% completion percentage. Congratulations on that one. Mike LeBlanc, you get the what the.
All right, so I was going to have a different what the, but you know what? Milton Mania is coming at us on Facebook with J.J. Watt stuff. Buck's coming at J.J. Watt, so I'm going to defend my boy J.J. Watt. The what the's going to go out to you and Milton. So you guys say, oh, he's never played a full season in his career. Hasn't played. So he's had 9 seasons in the league. Milton says it's first time in 6 years that he's played all 16. He actually played all 16 in 2008. Played all 16 in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. 16 and 17 was when he was having his elbow surgeries. And then he missed half of 2019. So 3 out of his 9 seasons has he only not played 16 games. And he played 16 games last year and in 2018. So Buck, Milton Mania, back off my boy J.J. Watt. Cardinals going to the Super Bowl, baby.
Oh, Combs. So you're telling me that J.J. Watt has played 66% of his seasons. Congratulations. I mean, I guess as a Bears fan, you should be used to 66% winning percentage. So, I mean, I guess it is what it is. But my next what the is going to go out to my mom. Yes, Mama Buck. She is coming down to see me this weekend, and I'm very excited to see her. And I couldn't be much more blessed to have a great mom and dad and a sister that I sometimes get along with. But
Uh-oh. Did we lose Buck there? I think we lost Buck, guys.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. All right.
Apparently, Spectrum didn't like my what the last week, so they're like, hey, we're going to get you this week. Ha, ha, ha. So, back to what I was talking about here. Mama Buck bought my boys a swing set. I'm grateful that she bought us a swing set. I love it, right? Well, the UPS man puts a swing set on the front porch. Combs, do you know how much a swing set weighs in like a box? And like
yes.
And like a 5x that thing's probably 500 pounds. So I had to carry this box 500 pounds from my front porch all the way to my back porch.
Don't
I had
lie,
a
you
half-acre
dragged
lot. Well, of course I dragged it. Come on, it's 500 pounds. But then, do you know how many nuts and bolts are in a freaking swing set, Combs? There are 617 screws, nuts, and washers in this thing. Mama Buck.
Look, I'm a carpenter. And it took me 3.5 days to build my kid's swing set.
Bro.
It's ridiculous. They're insane.
The swing set builders. No, scratch that. I'm not giving it to Mama Buck. Swing set builders. But the Playhouse people. You guys get the what the? So many screws. 6. Ugh.
So I'm gonna sit here with my Cardinals helmet since you guys are all about J.J. Watt and you don't like the Cardinals and people hopping on. You know what? My next what is going to go out to the Chicago Bears front office. The Chicago Bears front office who can't decide who their quarterback's going to be. Whoa, we're going to tease you. We're going to talk about how we're in under Deshaun Watson. We're going to talk about how we're in on I can't even think of his name right now. Russell Wilson. But we're going to end up with Andy Dalton. Or we're going to end up with Mitch Trubisky. or we're going to end up with this guy. It's been an entire franchise. So you know what? This year, I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan. If y'all can have more than one team, I can have more than one team. Bears front office, you get the what the.
And my final what the of the night is going to go out to some people that I work with. So if you guys don't know, I am a software engineer at a company in Louisville. I'm just going to leave it at that. But so I work with other engineers, right? Like people that make stuff and build cars and they are engineers. They're very well educated people. They have master's degrees and PhDs and whatnot. So I myself am a software engineer. I write programs to basically help them do what they want to do. With that being said, I don't work help desk anymore. I worked help desk, 6-7 years ago when I first started my IT career, and I've gone through the ropes, and I am where I want to be now in life. So this is going to go out to the person that calls me on a daily with their computer issues. They call me today at 5:30 in the morning saying that there is something wrong with their computer and it won't turn on. Combs, general rule, I'm going to bring you back on screen here. General rule 101 is you do basic help desk stuff yourself. Common sense goes a long ways, right, Combs? Guess
it's
what?
True.
The computer wasn't plugged in. It literally had the cord on the desk saying, plug me in when ready to use. Somebody left a note, said, plug me in when ready to use. Engineers, smart people, master's degrees, people that have PhDs, master's degrees, you guys are getting the what does. Common sense goes a long ways, people. You guys get the what the.
My final what the of the night is going to go out to Outback Steakhouse here in Orland Park, Illinois. So we go to Outback, and you know what? The service was kind of slow. I never take that into account because you know what? Maybe you're busy, maybe you're having a bad day, whatever the case is. And I'm usually a pretty good tipper. And today was just so bad. And then it got culminated by the final act of negligence after I had already tipped the guy pretty damn well, by the way. So at the end of our meal, Michelle's dad's back here. We order him a bowl of soup that he wanted us to bring back for him. Not a problem. Get that bowl of soup. I happen to love the ranch dressing at Outback Steakhouse. I absolutely, I think it's the best ranch I've ever had in my entire life.
It's buttermilk ranch.
So I order a large tub of the ranch so I can bring home, have it on salads, burgers, whatever I want to put it on. The guy goes, yeah, no problem. We wait for like 15, 20 minutes, no ranch. Finally, I say, you know what, let's just go. So we start walking out the door, and then finally my mother-in-law, my future mother-in-law, speaks up and goes, we've been waiting forever for this ranch. The guy goes, oh, yeah, give me 1 second. I'll go back and get it. I go to the car. I'm already mad. Everybody else is in the car. She comes back. She goes, here's your ranch. It was a little tiny cup of a side of ranch that he gave me to bring home. What am I going to do? What do you want me to take a tomato and just dip it? What am I going to do with that little cup of ranch? So, Outback Steakhouse, freaking, I don't even remember your name, waiter. You get the what the.
We have the unspoken rules here of the what the segment here, but Combs, I got to challenge that what the a little bit, man. What did you expect them to do? To bring you out like a whole 5-gallon jug of ranch so you can take over for free?
I've ordered these before. They put them in like a container. It's probably about yay big, and it's round, but it's something that you put a container of, and you normally pay $5-10 for it. I have no problem paying $5-10 for it, but
you know that you can go to Walmart and buy buttermilk ranch
it's not the same. It is exactly the same.
It is
not the same. I'm telling you right now, you need to go to Outback and try the ranch because it is not the same.
you know what, Combs? You might be living on this white collar budget, but here in the Buck household, we live on a blue collar budget, and we cannot afford those Outback Steakhouse
I'm telling you right
trips.
now, when I come to Indianapolis and you come up to visit for the volleyball, I'm taking you to Outback Steakhouse.
Dude,
you and me are going to Outback Steakhouse.
Are you paying it? Because I literally, Cindy literally gives me an allowance of $100 a week. That has to cover my gas, my energy drinks, and my lunch.
Here's how it goes. And we had this conversation earlier with Michelle's dad. I don't tell anybody I'm paying the bill until after they order, because that way I know they ordered what they would have ordered on their own dime,
right,
and then I offer to pay for it. So I'll let you know halfway through dinner whether or not I'm paying.
So fun fact is, like, I usually order less when I think somebody else is like going to pay, just because like I feel bad about it, to be honest with you. And Tori Anderson says Brandon kind of went Karen mode there. Yeah, he definitely went Shad mode.
No,
100%.
It's not Karen mode. I don't expect a little tiny. Why would I want to take a little tiny cup home? Why? What am I going to use it for? I didn't have anything to dip it in. I didn't buy anything to dip it in. I ordered steak and lobster. What am I taking this little thing of ranch home for?
Exactly. You ordered steak and lobster. Why need ranch? Like, you are just...
I even said, can I order at the end? I said, can we order a baked potato soup to go and a large order of ranch? It's not...
I know what my first what is of the next week. It is going out to Combs for trying to go to Outback Steakhouse and get free ranch.
I wasn't trying to get free ranch, Buck. I said I would pay $5-10. I don't care. Charge me whatever you would charge me for. Charge me $5, which is what a bottle of ranch costs in the stores. But it's not the same. I'm telling you. Once you try Outback Ranch, you're never going to be the same again, and you'll understand why I said what I said today.
No.
Yeah, you will. I promise you.
We're going to take a quick little break, guys. On the other side of the break, we are going to talk some Major League Baseball fantasy talk here. Fat guys do not eat salad. That's why they're fat, Combs. Sheesh.
Hey, I'm a fat kid. I'm
my next what's that goes out to Combs trying to eat a salad when he's no. I'm kidding.
Look, I got to get in wedding shape, man. I got to fit into my tux.
Yeah, we're just going to get next size up. But guys, we're going to take a quick little break. Fantasy baseball talk coming up here on the Man Hour. We'll be right back.
Fired.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs here. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, head over to manhourradio.com. Click on the podcast link there, and it'll be the first one at the top. There is the latest show that you're listening to right now. Or you can find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or iTunes as well. Simply search Man Hour Sports Talk. It'll be the only one up there because we are the greatest sports show on the planet. Taking words out of Combs' mouth and iterating them and coming out of myself. So it just like I try to use big words there, but sometimes I get words mixed up, and I say what I say what I think I'm saying, but it's not what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
It's not good for a stutterer.
Yeah, it's not good. When a person like myself, I do have a stutter, and when I start to think about my words, that is when I start messing up the worst. Usually,
and people don't even at me. Yeah. Don't try at me at Twitter. Don't come in my Facebook message saying how I'm mean to Buck. Yeah. I joke around with him about his stutter, but if any of you say anything about his stutter, I'm coming at you.
Yeah, Combs will come at you on the Twitter that he's not on. So at manhour _ Combs.
I just had your back, and then you call. All right.
Yeah. So, fun fact about me, guys. Like I've obviously had a stutter like my whole life, and you know how bad it is now, Combs. Like it
wasn't just after the horse kicked you.
No, it was actually before that. So the horse kicking kind of made it better. But like sometimes it comes and goes. But man, between the ages 5 9, dude, I could not get a word out half the time just because my mind was moving a million miles a minute, and it just wouldn't come out there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I like to mess with you about it. We joke around, but we're friends. That kind of stuff could happen. We were in a bar or something, and somebody said something about it. I pop them right in the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, that's what friends do, we always have each other's back. But Tori Anderson says that hashtag ManHourNation Facts, no ESPN employees have ever been banned from coming on the show. If you guys don't know, ESPN has banned basically employees going on the Pat McAfee show. So basically they see him as competition.
You guys can come on the Man Hour, though. Yeah. We've already had Bob Cozy.
Yeah. Great guy.
So look, and we've got an Ohio State football player. We've got a Purdue basketball player coming on the show regularly. You guys, man, I'm telling you, ESPN
former Indiana State basketball player that's going to go to Kentucky, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
But Combs, it is time to get into some baseball talk here. First game is Combs, less than 15 days away. April 1st is opening night. Man, it's getting close, but we need to talk a little bit of fantasy baseball here. So many people know who the top players in each position are, and usually those top players are the highest producing points, per se here. But let's go around the diamond, Combs, starting at left field here. Let's start in the outfield. The best position, left field, is the best position, hands down. Give me a sleeper fantasy guy that you have to have on your roster coming into the 2020 fantasy season.
All right, so we'll go around the horn here. Let's do that. Let's run it that way. I will start with catcher. We're going to exclude pitchers here. I'm going to go catcher all the way around to right field. All right, so let's go catchers first. My sleeper catcher on this year is going to be Mitch Garver. I struggled with Mitch Garver or Tom Murphy. Tom Murphy of the Seattle Mariners, Mitch Garver of the Minnesota Twins. Tom Murphy is one of those guys who, missed most of last year because he was hurt. In 2019, he did hit 18 home runs and 260 at-bats, had a 273 batting average. But ultimately, I went with Mitch Garver. And the reason why I went with Mitch Garver is because I've said a lot here on the show that I throw 2020 out the window. It was a shortened season. A lot of guys were dealing with not knowing what was going on with the pandemic and COVID and all that stuff. So there was a lot of things that were different. Also, not being able to use video stuff in the dugout so that you can check out how your last at bat was and make adjustments and that type of stuff. All that stuff was new for players. So I throw that out the window. And Mitch Garver in 2019 had 31 home runs in 93 games. This guy was an absolute stud in 2019. And so I feel like he's going to come back. I think he's going to have that starting job with the Minnesota Twins. And he's going to be a guy who's not planned on going, much before the top 15 catchers in baseball. So he's going to be my sleeper. If he's available late in the rounds and you need a catcher, or if you end up with a catcher on the DL in the first 2 to 3 weeks and he's still out there, keep that name in mind. Mitch Garver. This kid is going to have a great season in Minnesota.
Mitch Garver, sleeper for the catcher. Now let's go to the 3-hole, first base.
Yeah, so first base is a good one. There are so many good first basemen right now. It's really hard to pick a sleeper. Some of these sleepers aren't really even technically sleepers by name. But I'm going to go to your neck of the woods, Buck. I'm going to Kansas City. I'm going with Carlos Santana. He's being overlooked by a ton of people because, let's face it, he is who he is. But he gives you 25 home runs, 25 doubles, an average around 260, 270, somewhere in that ballpark. He has an on-base percentage usually above 350, and he's 35 years old, but this is a guy who's going to get a lot of consistent at-bats in a very underrated lineup. They just picked up Benintendi from the Red Sox. They've still got, what's your catcher's name there?
Salvador Perez.
So you got Salvi in that lineup. You got Benintendi in that lineup. Carlos Santano's in that lineup. Jorge Soler is in that lineup. There are going to be a lot of good hitters, and he's going to be sandwiched in between those guys. He's going to get a lot of pitches to hit. So look out for Carlos Santana as your first base sleeper this year.
Carlos Santana. I like that. Second base.
Second base is... it's one of those positions that a lot of people don't pay. I pay a lot of attention to it. My favorite player of all time, Ryan Sandberg, second baseman. I played second base a lot. I just love the position. I love watching the position. There's a lot of good players that play the position, but they don't get heard of because it's not a glorified position like shortstop, third base, that type of stuff. Look out for Tommy La Stella with the San Francisco Giants this year. Tommy La Stella is playing in a very, very hitter-friendly ballpark now. He was great with the Angels in 2019. We hit 16 home runs in just 80 games. In 2020, he did slow down a little bit just because of the shortened season, and as I mentioned a bunch, the Angels got off the really slow start last year, and then they picked it up towards the end, and he was already gone. They had already traded La Stella, but La Stella, had a pretty good playoff run with the Oakland A's, and he's probably going to give you, I would say, probably in the ballpark about 15 to 20 home runs. His batting average is going to be somewhere around 280, 290. He's going to steal a lot of bases. He's a very good base runner. So I would take Tommy La Stella as your sleeper for second baseman.
Yeah, and people in the chat are also agreeing with you with La Stella as well. And just to throw out some more comments here before we move to third base, Timothy Leonard said Joey Bart as a catcher, sleeper.
That's a good one.
Torrey Anderson comes with Brandon Belt as well.
See, Brandon Belt for me is he's one of those ones that there's a lot of names on there that aren't really sleepers. And for me, I think Brandon Belt's just been an under-the-radar guy his entire career. Brandon Belt has been a very good, very consistent first baseman his entire career. So for me, he's not an under-the-radar guy. I get it for a lot of people. He might be an under-the-radar guy. But I think that, Carlos Santana with his age and everything that's going on, a lot of people don't even know he's in Kansas City. That's why I went with Carlos Santana.
All right, so third base.
All right, so third base here, it's another one of those where it's hard to pick because there's so many really good third basemen. And so for third baseman, I am going to go with Justin Turner. Look, Justin Turner, I get it. They're the world champions and all that. But people don't look at Justin Turner as being a top-tier third baseman. They just don't. And to me, Justin Turner is a top 10 third baseman. He was in my top 10 list. But he's still a sleeper among fantasy stats. So I'm going with Justin Turner. Another one you can look out for that a lot of people don't know about is over there in Pittsburgh. They got this kid called Brian Hayes. Very good third baseman. Very going to put up a lot of numbers in Pittsburgh. Another very hitter-friendly ballpark. But he's in a very bad lineup, so that's kind of why I kind of steer away from him. So you can't really go wrong with either one of them, Justin Turner or Brian Hayes.
So we are going to have a lot of fantasy baseball talk coming up here on the Man Hour in the upcoming week. So I'm going to save a lot of my questions for that. So let's go ahead and move over to the shortstop position, 6-hole.
Yeah, so this might surprise a lot of people because I'm very down on this team this year. I don't like the way that they are, but in order for them to be good, he's going to have a good year. And he's been a very consistent player his entire career. But St. Louis Cardinals, Paul DeJong over at third base. He did have COVID-19 about a week into the 2020 regular season. That might be a reason for the drop in his stats last year. Again, I throw 2020 out the window. 2017 to 2019, his extra base hit rate was over 40%. So he's a very good doubles guy, triples guy, very fast, very speedy. He's going to steal some bases for you. Very smart base runner. He's going to hit probably about 270, 280 most years for you. So look out for Paul DeYoung at third base.
Shortstop, you mean, right?
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Shortstop. Yes, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
I'm just making sure because sometimes I get names mixed up myself. So let's go ahead and move into the outfielder. Since Alex Gordon has officially retired, I can't pick him in fantasy like anymore. So who is the sleeper in left field?
So outfield, I kind of go all around the place. You really don't break down outfielders to left field, center field, right field. Outfield is just, I'll give you three sleepers for the outfield. And those three sleepers are going to be Trey Mancini of the Baltimore Orioles. Like another very bad lineup, going to be on a very bad team. They might lose 100 games this year. But the guy just beat colon cancer, which also caused him to miss the 2020 season. Mm-hmm. He is very, very good. And this guy bashes about 35 to 40 home runs a year. He hits high for average in the 290s, 300s. So he's not your prototypical, power hitter like you see in a lot of guys now who are striking out 300 times a season. He has a 290 average in 2 of the past 3 years. So, you never know what a guy's going to be coming off of colon cancer, but I really like Trey Mancini, and I really like to see him do good things. I think he's going to be one of those guys that you could really cheer for and really have on your fantasy team as well, because he's going to put up numbers in Baltimore. The other guy is Cole Calhoun from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Cole Calhoun is just, he's a stud that nobody knows about. So Cole Calhoun was with the Angels for a long time, and he just never materialized. Being in the lineup, I don't know if it's just being in the lineup with Mike Trout, so you're not seeing the enough pitches hitting behind Mike Trout, that type of stuff. I'm not sure what it was, but he's one of those guys for me. He can provide you 30 home runs or more. He's going to hit in the 280 to 290 range. He's going to have a whole lot of doubles for you. This guy's a doubles machine. So I'm going to go with Cole Calhoun as my second sleeper. And my third sleeper is going to be A.J. Pollock of the Los Angeles Dodgers. This outfield is just stud stacked. I mean, you've got... Yeah, I mean, you've got... But losing Jock Peterson... A.J. Pollock's going to see a lot more playing time out in left field. And so for me, he's going to be a sleeper here. He's going to be a guy who's going to hit probably about 275, 280, somewhere in that ballpark. Again, a lot of doubles. Dodgers ballpark. Dodgers, that ballpark doesn't play well lively at night, but you can't hit a lot of gap shots in there, and that's what A.J. Pollock does. So I'm going to have A.J. Pollock as my third sleeper there.
All right, guys. So Brandon Combs just gave us 9 sleeper picks in the MLB fantasy baseball drafts. Combs, when are we doing our draft here on the Man Hour?
I have no clue. So Wyatt's setting all that stuff up. I know I signed up for it, and then I forgot that I signed up for it. And then he's like, "Hey, Buck hasn't signed up for it." I said, "What?" And he's like, "Our fantasy baseball." We have a fantasy baseball league.
Right? Yeah. He kind of caught me off guard too. So, guys, tomorrow I will post that link on the Facebook page, on Twitter's. So, Combs, be sure to jump on Twitter and retweet that. And I'll also put it in the comment section at youtube.com/manhour if you guys are interested in joining our fantasy baseball league. It is totally free. And then Combs, let's say the winner gets a...
It's just going to be bragging rights. I've got something for the winner, though. For Major League Baseball, for our fantasy league, I've got something for the winner. So trust me.
And we'll throw in a baseball tee as well. We'll throw in a baseball tee since it's baseball season, right? So, all right, guys. So we are going to take our second to the last break here. We're going to talk some more NFL free agency. We're going to talk A.J. Green to the Cardinals. We're going to talk Gardner Minshew, and the Kansas City Chiefs O-line is getting reworked as we speak right now, Combs. They just picked up another key piece to their offensive line. So we got that coming up here on the Man Hour and much, much more. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs here. If you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can catch us on YouTube Live, youtube.com/Man Hour at 3 p.m. East Coast time, Monday through Friday. And also Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. East Coast time, over on the YouTube channel. You can also download the podcast format that's on iTunes, iHeartRadio, or Spotify, or simply go over to manhourradio.com and click the link there. Just click on the podcast, and bada bing, bada boom, it's there. Of course, you can always become a member. The members only tab there. A little as $3 a month. You get the access to the after show. You get access to discounts. You get access to us anytime you want to. This show used to be live, raw, and uncut. It is still live and raw, but the After Hours show is a lot more uncut. We let words fly that you shouldn't be hearing anywhere, a.k.a. apple pie. I mean, every time Nana throws the word apple pie out in the chat,
somebody's going to be in there now and recording it, and we're going to get on blast.
Hey, you know what? We drop apple pie in there, and I get hungry, and I walk inside. I'm like, Cindy, I would love some apple pie. And like, she's like, you know what? I would love some cheesecake. So we end up going to Dairy Queen and getting like an apple pie blizzard, or I don't know what it is. But
so not where I thought you were going with that.
Oh, no. Like, we get blizzards. Like, blizzard. There are 3 things in the world that we cannot live without. One of them is cheese. Cindy loves her cheese. I love my ranch and blizzards. Dairy Queen blizzards.
I do love Dairy Queen, man.
Fun fact: every time it snows here in Indiana, you get a free small blizzard. Did you know that?
Do you guys got? I did not know that. Do you guys got a Baskin Robbins around there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh man, they're
maybe on the Louisville side.
Their chocolate peanut butter shake. Oh my god, dude! I'm telling you, if you've ever thought about a drink that tasted like a peanut butter cup, like, oh man, unbelievable.
Between
I don't know about this one.
And Nana, so fun factoid, my Uncle Al lives up in Wisconsin, and every time we go up there, we eat the crap out of cheese curds, man. Like it's something about Wisconsin cheese curds is just like the best thing in the world. Like, wow.
See, I've heard Wisconsin cheese boxes are something totally different, but we'll talk about that in the After Hours show.
We will talk about that in the afternoon. So I only saw cheese and box, and I did not read the whole comment. So I tried to keep it clean, I guess, and you guys went straight to the gutter. Now I'm pondering thoughts. Is it like a hot box when you go to bed, like you pull your sheets over and you?
No. I'm pretty sure he was talking about the thing you're talking about. I was the one thinking somewhere.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Just making sure we're clear here. But being perfectly clear here, AJ Green is heading to Phoenix, Arizona to become a part of the Arizona Cardinals. He signed a 1-year, I believe it was $8 million deal there to join with DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, Kyler Murray, J.J. Watt. The list goes on and on and on. They're almost developing a super team.
Great signing
over
for
there.
The Cardinals.
Possibly. So let me ask you this question. Does this signing of A.J. Green put the Cardinals over the top and into the Super Bowl over the Buccaneers?
No, they're contenders. They were contenders before this signing, though.
Right.
But they're still contenders, and it gives them a little bit of a better chance, to go ahead and compete in the NFC. Look, the NFC is not very deep. You've got the New Orleans Saints. You've got the Green Bay Packers. You've got maybe the Seattle Seahawks, depending on what's going on there. The Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals.
So I take that back. It looks like Larry Fitzgerald has officially has retired from the NFL. So A.J. Green has basically slid into the Larry Fitzgerald spot on the roster. So the receiving core right now looks like DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Green, and then Christian Kirk, and then Max Williams at tight end.
And that's another guy that people are sleeping. Christian Kirk is a very good receiver.
Also,
very good receiver.
Andy Isabella is really good. He had a pretty good season as well. If we're going to talk sleepers, he's a NFL sleeper fantasy pick there. So what can we realistically expect from AJ Green? Just because, like, I feel like we've kind of grown a custom of him just kind of having like quote mediocre seasons, and it's just kind of crazy to me. Sorry, I had a sound going on my ear for some reason. That was weird.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So, AJ Green, you can expect something like 60 to 70 catches. A lot of things are going to open up for him because DeAndre Hopkins is on the other side.
Right.
Also, Christian Kirk is there as well. You're going to have a lot of open for Kirk and AJ Green are both going to benefit from having DeAndre Hopkins on the other side. But I think Kirk will benefit the most. I think Kirk's going to lead this team in receptions, in yards, because I think that he's going to benefit the most because people are going to really hone in on AJ Green and DeAndre Hopkins. So him and the tight ends are really going to benefit as well. I think that the Cardinals are a solid team. I think that they are right there with the Saints. Excuse me. With the Saints. Tori Anderson says Saints will not be above 8-8. Change my mind. Still very good defense, still a ton of weapons, and still, they won 4-0 last year without their starting quarterback. So yeah, they're gonna be better than 8-8.
Yeah, so we also have a question from John Carter coming in. Is this the most talented wide receiver core in the NFC West?
Ooh, man. I don't know. You still got DK and
Tyler
Lockett. Is Lockett still in Seattle? He's there, right? He wants a trade though, right?
He doesn't want to trade, but his name has been linked to going to Miami for some reason.
So you still got DK and Lockett, and then you still got the guys over there in LA. I mean, the Rams have a really good wide receiving core. Cooper Kupp and who's their? God, so bad with names sometimes. I can't think of their other guy. Robert Woods.
Yeah.
So they've still got a very good, talented receiving core, but they are good, man. They are really good, and I really like this Arizona Cardinals team. If you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, John Carter, you're in for a very good season. Maybe NFC title game, possibly, but at least a very good run. I don't know if you've got enough to beat Tampa just because it's Tom Brady, and I never bet against Tom Brady. But do you have the defense that can compete with the Buccaneers? Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%.
So let's circle back to the wide receiver question here, and I'm going to answer it as they have the most depth, meaning like they are the best core, I think, in the NFC West, simply because they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? Seattle has 1, 2. Rams have 1, 2, 3. 49ers have 0, I think. They might have 1. I think they got Emmanuel Sanders right still. But
Emmanuel Sanders just went somewhere else.
Okay, so I gotta even know who is
where he went to.
Let's pull up the San Francisco 49er roster. Like I don't even know who the receivers are right now. So that kind of by default facto puts him at number 4.
Tori Anderson says that they get bounced in the first round of the playoffs if they make it. I'm telling you right now, Tori. You know who doesn't want to see the Arizona Cardinals in the playoffs? Your Green Bay Packers.
So
they don't want to see the Arizona Cardinals in the playoffs right now.
Let's talk about realistic expectations for the
Buffalo.
Arizona
That's where
Cardinals.
Emmanuel Sanders went. Buffalo.
Yeah. Flashing back to the San Francisco 49ers receiver core, they do have Brandon Ayuk, which is this will be his second year, and then Deebo Samuel, and of course you got George Kittle as well.
They're the worst out of the rest of them.
Yeah. But as far as core, I'm going to go with like Arizona. So let's talk about realistic expectations for the Arizona Cardinals. Last year, I had them as my sleeper team. Like they're going to slide into the playoffs, and they just missed the playoffs. But they were 8-8. They lost Larry Fitzgerald. Had 54 catches, 400 yards last season, and like AJ Green had 46 catches last year for 700 yards. So I think that is an even trade 100%. So really the only thing they have truly added this season was depth to the defensive line and J.J. Watt, which the defensive line was already pretty stout. The whole defense was pretty stout, even though they did just lose Patrick Peterson to the Vikings for a 1-year, $10 million deal, I believe it was. So realistic expectations, I don't see them going over 9 wins in the regular season. Yes, 9-7, 9-8. If the NFL does play the 17-game season, do we know if they're playing 17 games yet in the NFL season?
I believe it's 17, but let's just say it's 16.
Yeah. Okay, well,
you don't have them over. So you're saying that they are basically just as good as they were last year.
Yeah, they are going to have one game bounce their way. What?
They were 8-8 last year.
Right. They were 8-8, but also some of those wins came to games that they probably shouldn't have won.
3 point. Yeah, but there was a lot of 3-point losses. They played a lot of close games. Their defense got a lot better. Their offense is getting better.
How does one defensive end make their defense a lot better?
It's not just it. I mean, J.J. Watt is a huge piece, is he not?
He is.
And then you're putting him on the opposite end of Chandler.
Okay.
It makes a big difference, man. The Bears weren't a great defense 3 years ago, and then they added Khalil Mack.
Right.
And that was the only addition they made, and they went 12-4.
But also on the flip side of the coin, the Arizona's defense lost Patrick Peterson, one of the premier cornerbacks in all of the NFL.
Yeah, but he's also old.
Okay.
And Arizona's got the pieces to back him up. I don't know, man.
So what are your realistic expectations here? Torrey Anderson says 10-6 at best for them. I'm going 9-7 on a 16-game season.
I'd have to take a look at the schedule and see who they're playing, when they're playing. Like, I have to take a look at the schedule before I can give you a win-loss total. But I don't think that you put a lot of loss on Patrick Peterson, but they still got Alford. And also, I believe Buda Baker could probably slide over and play cornerback as well, even though he's free safety. But they've got Jace Whitaker, Byron Murphy Jr. So they've got some pieces in Arizona that they're not going to hurt as much as you would think they would from losing Patrick Peterson.
So, but here is the issue that they're going to run it into. Arguably, the NFC West was the hardest division in all of football last year. You had the Seattle Seahawks 12-4. I'm talking 2020 season.
Yep.
The Rams were 10-6. The Cardinals went 8-8, and the 49ers went 6-10. But you also have to realize that the San Francisco 49ers literally lost like 40-plus players in the season due to injuries. Like, they were injury bug bit in the butt left and right. So it would not surprise me if the San Francisco 49ers flip-flopped their record to 10-6 moving into the 21 season.
When do they release the schedules?
So they have their games already out, but the actual schedule releases probably sometime in like June or July. Like I think.
So their games are already out. It's just a matter of like the order of which they play them.
Right.
It's not out yet. Okay.
So let's go ahead and pull it up here. See if
and Torrey says you have nothing else on the back end besides Buda Baker, and I disagree with that. I disagree with that comment. You've got, for one, they've got the best middle linebacker core in the NFL, and I believe that 110%. Isaiah Simmons is an absolute stud. And so I think on the back end, when you look at Jalen Thompson is a beast as well. Robert Alford, I think, is a very, very underrated cornerback. And then Byron Murphy Jr. is a very good quarterback as well. Like I don't know what you say that they don't have anything on the back end besides Buda Baker, but this kid had. Sorry, I got some sound coming into my ears here. He had 40 solo tackles last year. So I just this kid can play. I don't know. I get it. He's not Patrick Peterson. I do. I understand that Patrick Peterson was a stud,
right.
But they've got guys that can play the position.
So I have the 2021 Arizona Cardinals schedule, not the actual schedule, but the list of teams that they play this season. And like, obviously they play their division opponents twice, the Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks. But then the out-of-division games, they play the Packers, the Vikings, the Houston Texans, the Colts, Carolina Panthers, at the Chicago Bears, at the Dallas Cowboys, at the Detroit Lions, at Jacksonville Jaguars, and then at the Tennessee Titans as well.
So that out
that's
of
a tough
conference schedule, I would put them at about 5-3 with that out of conference schedule. You're going to beat the brakes off the Bears. You're going to beat the brakes off the Bears. You're going to your 3 losses are probably to the Packers.
Hang on, it is at Soldier Field. You know that, right?
You're going to beat the brakes off the Bears. The Bears are hot garbage.
Okay.
You're going to beat the brakes off the Bears. You're going to beat the Lions. You're going to beat the Jaguars. They're better than the Titans, but the Titans could win that game, I guess, possibly.
Right.
The Green Bay Packers, I would say, that's going to be a good game. It's a game. Where's that game at? Is that in Green Bay?
It is at home for them, so at Phoenix.
So it's at home. So yeah, anything can happen at home. The Green Bay Packers are not world beaters by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
Still want to see what they do during this offseason. I still think that they're the best team in the NFC North, so I would give them that loss there with Green Bay. But you're going to beat the Texans. You're better than the Bears. You're better than the Lions. You throw some other names out at me real quick.
So you basically have them beating or losing to the Packers. Sorry. So we have the Packers, Vikings, Texans, Colts, Panthers, Bears, Cowboys, Lions, Jaguars, Titans.
So I would say the Packers, the Titans. Man, maybe only 2 losses, maybe 6-2 in that stretch of out of conference games.
6 and
they're
really?
better than a lot of
they might be better, but
you're telling me that they're not better than the Titans. You're telling me that they're not better than the Panthers. They're not better than the Bears, the Lions.
So listen, I have faith in the Carolina Panthers, and all this trading Teddy Bridgewater talk is kind of upsetting me because Teddy Bridgewater is a darn good quarterback if he would just get a chance. The Carolina Panthers went 5-11 without their number 1, number 2 receivers and their running back, the Christian McCaffrey. All those guys are coming back, and they had their linebacker Luke Kuechly just retire like 2 weeks before the season started.
So they're going to lose to the Packers, the Colts, and the Cowboys in their out of division opponents. Those will be their 3 losses.
Okay, so you have 3 losses and at a conference. Now, looking at their conference schedule, they played the Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks. Do you see them losing any of those games?
They're better than the Seahawks, especially if they lose Russell Wilson, which does look like they'll end up losing Russell Wilson.
No, that won't. Come on, he's staying there.
I think they're going to end up trading him. I think they're just waiting for June to come around before they do it. They're better than the Niners. I give them 2 wins against the Niners, a split against the Seahawks, probably a split with the Rams because the Rams are very good, and it's hard to sweep a divisional opponent. So
okay,
yeah,
so right there
I
you have 6 losses. So you're saying 10-6.
I don't know. I don't. What do you mean 6 losses? I say they lose once to the Rams. They lose once to the Seahawks. They lose once to the Rams and once to the Seahawks.
Okay, so you're still looking at 5 losses. So you
have
so
11-5.
11-5.
Yeah,
I just don't see that. It is hard for me to see that.
I do.
Okay, but I mean, give or take, I am on Torrey Anderson's train here, and I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to be highly overrated this season. They are trying to build this super team around a quarterback that Kyler Murray is a good quarterback. Is he great? No, he is.
Torrey Anderson. Do you want to know the first way to know that you are incorrect about something? When Michael Buckheiser says, "I'm with him." That's how you know you're wrong. That's how you know you are going to lose a bet, sir.
Okay. Moving on. Garner Minshew, the mustache medium himself. The Jacksonville Jaguars have put him out on the trading block. Garner Minshew, I believe, is slated to be the starter for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me pull that up and confirm that real quick. He is slated to be the starter for the Jacksonville Jaguars behind Jake Lukin. They have 2 quarterbacks on the roster, so
they're going to draft their starting quarterback.
With that being said, you guys know how I feel about Mr. Mustache Medium himself. Is there any trade people out like are there any trade partners out there for Gardner Minshew?
I don't know how you could not like Gardner Minshew as a person And as a
person,
personality, like he's great to talk to. As a quarterback, I don't want him on my team. I'm sorry, and I know. Look, I used to be a big soup boss when we were on TSS. That man went out and drafted in the first round in every one of his drafts Gardner Minshew. So he loves himself some Gardner Minshew. And I know if he hears this, he's going to be pretty upset with me. But I don't want Gardner Minshew as my starting quarterback. I like the guy a lot. He could be my backup. I let him take Nick Foles' spot. But really? I don't want him as my starting quarterback.
You would take Gardner Minshew over Nick Foles as a backup?
Yeah, in a heartbeat. Yeah.
So I have a personal vendetta.
I'd probably take him over Andy Dalton, to be honest with you.
No, you wouldn't. Andy Dalton is a Hall of Famer quarterback.
Stop it. I hate
so I actually have like a personal vendetta about somebody that is a huge Gardner Minshew fan, like the mustache mania guy, right? Whatever. A guy, I'm not going to drop his name because I don't want him to get any clout on our show whatsoever. But I think you know who I'm talking about, Derek Holmes. He has blocked me on Facebook for whatever reason because he just can't accept when like he is wrong. Gardner Minshew is a trash quarterback. He might have the greatest personality in the world. Combs, looking at Gardner Minshew is like when you go to a bar and you're looking for a woman to interact with and possibly date and like whatnot. There has to be that physical attraction at some point. Well, you can say, "Oh, it's her personality, yada yada yada," but at some point you are physically attracted. Like that's how you start talking to a person, right? Gardner Minshew might have a great personality, Combs. He might have the best booty shorts out there. He might wear a cowboy hat and have a kick-ass stash on his like on his face. But his looks on the football field make me want to look the other way every time. I am going to go look at the Playboy model like over there and over Gardner Minshew 100% every time. Gardner Minshew is going to end up in the CFL. He is just not a good quarterback. Actually, I don't think he could even throw the ball on a CFL field. It's just
he can't stop it. He's all right. He's just
Combs. You know how much I hate Lamar Jackson. I will take Lamar Jackson over Gardner Minshew every day of the week. Every day of the week. Torrey Anderson says what? Buck was mad he couldn't get the mustache ride from Gardner. Jeez.
He's just upset you can't grow a mustache like Gardner.
Okay, listen. I'm going to shave my beard tonight. I'm going to dye it black, and I'm going to have the best handlebar mustache you've ever seen in your life.
I dare you.
Cindy would kill me.
That needs to be part of the bet. Look, if we can get Wyatt to shave his head, we can get you with a handlebar mustache.
Well, so do you remember when me and Mike had that bet for K-State versus Texas game, and I had to shave my beard? Cindy did not talk to me for 7.5 days until I grew my beard back. She literally did not say a word to me for 7 days.
Oh, man.
It was pretty bad. But, guys, let's go ahead and take our last break, Combs. On the other side of the break, we're going to open up to Shop Talk here. So if you guys want to talk about anything and everything, let us know in the chat, and we will talk about it. I missed that comment, so we will address it after the break here, guys. We'll be right back here on the Man Hour. welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with Brandon Combs here. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can download the podcast form on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, or head over to manhourradio.com and click on the podcast link as there. It'll be the first link once you click on that tab. You can also become a member over there. Click on the members only tab and join us on the after show. It's as little as $3 a month. You get some discounts on clothing. You get a free t-shirt after 6 months. And of course, you get to interact with us at 10 p.m. East Coast time right there each and every day. I should say Monday through Thursday. I should say not every day. But let's go ahead and bring Combs back onto the show. Combs, go ahead and bring that comment back up for Tori Anderson. Tori Anderson says, I will bet you that Brandon Combs that the Saints do not finish better than 8-8, and loser does that last dab on it.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a TikTok thing or something. I don't know what it means. But if you're saying the Saints are not going to finish better than 8-8, I will take that bet, sir. I'm putting a provision on this. Jameis Winston needs to start the season as a starting quarterback. If they go with Taysom Hill, I agree with you. But if they put Jameis Winston in that quarterback, they're better than 8-8.
Okay, so Tori, the rules are set. If Jameis Winston is the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, they will go better than 500. Actually, I think
what's
Combs
the
actually
last
has him.
dab though?
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
Maybe the last seance. I don't know.
Last dab is from Hot Ones. It's over at 2 million Scoville hot sauce. Ooh, look, I don't do hot, man. But I'll take the challenge because they're gonna go better than 8-8. But it has to be Jameis Winston has to be the starting quarterback in order for them to go 8-8.
So let's put a position on it, Combs. Like, let's say Winston only starts 8 games. Does that count as a full season? Like, what is your game limit on him being a starter?
It's got to be with. I don't know. I would assume.
How about this? The Saints are better than 500 with Winston at the helm. How about that?
Yeah. How about that? I'll go with that one.
So Tori, if you are okay with that, so let's say Winston plays 4 games this season and they go 2-2, Tori wins the bet. If they go 3 wins or better, Combs wins the bet. Does that sound legitimate, Tori? So let us know in the comments.
I'm down for that. Man, I don't.
So yeah, Tori actually says he will take that. So
2 million Scoville. That's hot, man.
How do they rate that? Like, is it like how much it burns your tongue? Like, physically burns your tongue and makes it all red and like.
I guess, man. The last time, so there's an old Super Bowl story. I won't finish the entire story, but there's a place in North Carolina that sells wings, and when you order these wings, they deliver them to your house, and you have to sign a contract because they are so spicy that they will not be responsible for anything that happens after you eat them.
Oh, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I couldn't touch them. Even smelling them, my face was on fire. So, God,
so funny story.
I'll take it, but
we went out to eat at Cluckers last night. Or sorry, not Cluckers, but Roosters here in Clarksville, Indiana. And my nephew ordered some mild wings. And like, I am a baby when it comes to hot stuff. Combs, if I get wings, it is honey barbecue.
Honey barbecue, yes, thank you.
And like sometimes those are a little too spicy, but my nephew ordered some like medium wings, and like it was they weren't hot by like any means. They were medium barbecue wings or whatever.
Yeah,
like it was burning my nose.
That's the funny thing is Michelle's favorite place is Hooters, but I won't go to Hooters because I can't do their wings.
Yeah. If you honestly, back in the day, the best wings, hands down, was Buffalo Wild Wings, and then they got bought out by who did they get bought out by? KFC, maybe? No, it wasn't KFC. No, it was Arby's. Arby's bought out Buffalo Wild Wings, and like ever since then, their wings have been complete trash. Roosters is a place to get wings here in Indiana. I think it's on Tuesday. They're like Combs. They are literally they're goods. They're handful size wings. They're like 75 cents like a wing, like bone in or bone out. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Tori Anderson says Hooter wings are terrible.
Yeah. I'm not so sure. I can't remember the last time. And guys, it's the obvious guy joke, right? When you say, "Oh, I don't like going to Hooters." Oh, ho, 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 blah blah blah. Look, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to go there to look at the waitresses. It's the same reason why I'm not a strip club type guy too. Are you a strip club guy?
No, fun fact about Michael Buckheim. I've never been to a strip club.
Oh, so I've been to a strip club. Right. A few of them. I mean, when you're in the Marine Corps, especially down in North Carolina, in Jacksonville, North Carolina, there's nothing else to do. There's strip clubs for miles. But it's one of those things where, man, that there's no reason for me to throw a dollar bill at a girl to take her clothes off and never talk to me ever again.
And I could do that on the internet for like free, right? I mean,
yeah, for free, or let's be honest, we're married. We could stay at home and do that for free too.
Yeah. Well, you can. I've actually been married for like 4 years almost now, and you know how that goes. Like after the first year,
that's what I'm saying. You could give them money, but there's nothing else happening. So I'm not that kind of guy. So when we go to we could go to Hooters or all that, and it wouldn't be I just don't like their food.
No, honestly, Combs, if you want to go to a place like Hooters, there's a place in Kansas City, Missouri. Actually, it might be on the KCK side. It's called Twin Peaks. They are, a corporate brand. They might have some up in Tori Anderson's location there. But if we ever go to a Kansas City Chiefs game, we need to stop by Twin Peaks. This place, it is just like Hooters, but the girls are in flannel shirts and cut off jeans, right? Yeah. They keep their beer at 31 degrees. So when it comes out of the what's the old spigot thing called? You know what I'm talking about? It literally comes out in like a slushy type form. Like really, so it is the best beer you will ever have. So yeah, okay. Twin Peaks, like they are all over, but like Kansas City, Kansas is the one that I went to, and it is the best place ever. So, Tilted Kilt has great food, just like Twin Peaks. Yeah. So, Tori Anderson knows what Twin Peaks is all about. Oh, and it is called a tapper, the little beer pourer thing.
Yeah.
It is not called a spigot. That's like my grandpa.
Yeah. Spigot is where when you're drinking from the hose, buddy.
Yeah. You can do that still. That's not against the law.
I mean, it could be the reason why I am who I am.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we used to drink straight out of the garden hose. All the time. Yeah. I mean, my grandma would not allow us into the house to drink water. She just drink it out, of the hose. And a hot day in summer, that water comes out of the hose like 115 degrees. Burns you.
A child between the age of 1 and 10 consumes an average of about 3 pounds of dirt per year.
Really?
Yeah. And they survive,
is that
right?
A new liar? Yeah. I mean,
no, that's a for real thing. I've looked that up before. Because I hate when people say, "Oh, you can't give him that; it's dirty. It fell on the carpet that I just cleaned. it fell on the floor. You can't give it, or the kitchen floor that I just mopped. You can't give it to him. That's dirty. It's not dirty. It's not. He eats worse things than what he's going to eat right here. I promise you."
Combs, you have what? 7 kids, right? 8 kids? 7 kids. So I have 2 boys, right? And our first son, Cindy, was all about, the pacifier dropped the floor. We need to wipe that off and give him a new one and disinfection. And now the second kid,
run it under hot water.
Put it right back in the mouth.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It is a thing too, man. When you have your first kid, I'll tell you right now, man. With my daughter, my oldest, when she was a baby, it was like, man, I be very, very careful. Blah blah blah. When Junior was born, my oldest, it was like, bro, you're on your own.
You are 3 months old. You can sit up all by yourself. Take care of yourself. 100%.
And every kid is different too. Like, so Junior was always the scaredy cat. Yeah. Alan was my third born. Alan, that kid. So Junior would get the coffee table and push it up to the couch, crawl on the coffee table, and jump onto the couch. Alan would then take the coffee table, push it as far away as he could, and still try to make it to the couch.
That a kid.
So they're all different.
Yeah, they're definitely all different. But guys, that's going to be it for the Man Hour tonight, or tonight, whatever time you are listening to us. But either way, at 10 p.m. East Coast time, you can become a member and check out the after show. So the after show does start at 10 p.m. East Coast time. So join us over there on manhourradio.com. Combs, any closing thoughts before we head out, man?
Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Have a good night, guys. Alrighty, guys. Welcome to the after show. 10 p.m. East Coast time here on youtube.com/manhour. If you guys want to interact with us on the old after show, all you have to do when you're at the manhourradio.com and you click on the members tab and go to the after hours, click on the YouTube thing. It'll open up a YouTube page and you can chat there. So if you guys are interested in chatting with us, any questions, or even want to come on screen, we can welcome you on screen. So Wyatt.
Oh God!
I was
You're
thinking
fired.
about Combs. Wyatt was out at church tonight and doing the old. Did he say he was going to the trampoline park?
Yeah.
I wonder how many times he fell on his face.
Dude, I'm telling you right now. Have you? When was the last time you bounced on a trampoline?
So here in Indiana, we have a place called Sig's. And
Yep.
I used to have Fridays off, and they have like a open gym, and me and the oldest would go there and jump on the trampoline.
Oh,
they have
dude.
they have like a big pit when you jump into the ball pit.
Yep.
But it honestly, dude, it really hurt my knees. I'm not saying that just because like an old age. It's just like it felt.
I'm
bad
telling you
on
right
my
now.
body.
So we have one in our yard. We have a huge trampoline in our yard. Net
Yeah.
whole deal. And Michelle's nephew came over last week, and he's like, "Brandon, you go jump on the trampoline with me?" I'm like, "Oh, jeez. All right, fine." Dude, I kid you not. I jumped for about 45 seconds. I was done. I was winded. I was tired. Like that is so. I'm big into like looking up things like what is
Right.
this compared to? You know, if you jumped on a trampoline for 8 minutes, it's the equivalent of running a mile.
Really,
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's
That-
kind of. Wow.
Yeah, I was like, why am I so tired from just jumping for 45 seconds?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's crazy. Like 8 minutes on a trampoline is equivalent to running a mile.
So I take that back. Like we do have like one of those little small kid size ones, right? And
Yep.
you can't jump very high on it by any means.
No.
But River has a freaking ball on that thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
He loves every second of it.
We had a little kid one for our little guys, and they had the handlebar on it so they could jump and hold on at the same time. And our kids used to, dude, for hours would just jump on this trampoline, and then they would fight over who gets to jump on the trampoline. And it was the greatest thing ever because by the end of the night they were just exhausted.
Right.
But I don't understand how they have so much energy. Like, I don't even know if I ever had that much energy.
Yeah, I honestly, like, looking back on it, like, when I was a kid, dude, like, so my grandma watched all of us, and there was my cousin Matt, Vicky, me, my sister, Sonny, Raylan, Courtney, Justin, Michelle, Carl. So there's like 10 or like 11 of us. My grandma, little 5'2", like of her, watched all 11 of us, like every day, and we weren't allowed inside, so we were outside all the time having a grand old time.
Yeah,
so, but
that was us. Like when we were kids, man. Like, dude, I was never inside the house. My mom used to have to come calling for me,
right.
to get me to come home. Like, I can't tell you. I don't even think I ever ate lunch as a kid because I was never inside to do so.
We would have ramen because we weren't rich by any means. Like grandma would make like 7 packets of like ramen. We'd all split split it. So, but yeah,
I used to eat tomato and mayonnaise, tomato and Miracle Whip sandwiches. So I know all about not being rich by any stretch of the imagination. Tomato and Miracle Whip, or just Miracle Whip by itself on bread.